inside a subsea cable relay station at the edge of the coast. The storm stays outside, but this room stays sealed. Indicator lights remain steady along the racks. Nothing here needs a fast decision. The air is cool and dry. The floor is clean and solid. The words can stay in the background. A heavy door closes the corridor behind you. Its lock sits flush in the frame. No latch clicks again. Along the wall, a map shows the sea floor. Thin lines mark cable routes. Small labels name junction points. The station remains quiet. A row of equipment racks fills the main room. Fans turn at a constant speed. Their tone stays low. Green lights remain on. Blue lights pulse in slow intervals. No red light appears. Nothing demands attention. A metal grate runs down the center of the floor. Beneath it, cable bundles pass toward the ocean. No vibration travels up. A pressure gauge near the grate holds steady. The needle does not drift. The glass remains clear. The system holds its balance. In the far corner, a sealed cabinet holds spare modules. The cabinet door stays closed. Tags hang straight. A small work lamp glows above a bench. Tools remain aligned on a rubber mat. No tool is missing. The bench stays unused. Outside the thick wall, the sea keeps moving. You do not hear waves directly. Only the building's insulation and fan tone remain. A brief relay click sounds once, then silence returns. Along the racks, labels repeat in simple text. Power, sync, amplify. Each label stays lit or dim the same way. A monitor shows a flat line and small numbers. No graph redraws. No alarm banner appears. The room stays stable. You take a slow walk between the racks. Your steps remain soft. The sound fades quickly. Cold air moves down the aisle. It does not change temperature. It remains even against the skin. You stop near a junction panel. The junction panel has a clear cover. Behind it, fiber connectors sit in neat rows. No connector moves. No dust rests on the ports. A tiny status LED blinks in a measured pattern. It does not speed up. It does not slow down. The pattern remains correct. A second corridor leads toward the landing tunnel. A warning sign is bolted to the wall. Its letters remain sharp. Past the sign, the tunnel door stays sealed. A gasket line remains tight. No moisture beads along the edge. The boundary holds. Back in the main room, the fan tone continues. One rack is slightly warmer than the next. The difference is small. It remains constant. A cooling unit cycles gently. No loud change. Only steady airflow. The station remains calm. On a shelf, a logbook lies open to a blank page. A pen rests in the clip. No entry is needed. A clock above the shelf moves its hands. It does not tick loudly. You do not follow it. The room remains the same. A small speaker for the coastal network stays silent. No voice comes through. No test tone plays. A second relay click sounds. Then nothing. The sound does not repeat again. You sit briefly on the bench near the work lamp. The surface is firm. It feels cool through clothing. Your shoulders drop. Your hands rest without tension. The lights remain steady. Cable routes continue beneath the floor grate. The seafloor remains far below. The station stays dry and sealed above it. No vehicle arrives at the outer gate. No door opens in the corridor. Only airflow and low light remain. The relay station keeps running. Soon, the details stop feeling sharp. Labels soften into simple blocks of light. The fan tone becomes a single line. You do not need to check anything again. The system already knows what to do. And the sealed room stays steady, holding its quiet work through the night. A narrow cabinet at the end of the aisle holds battery packs. Small LEDs show charge levels in a clean row. No pack warms. No fan changes speed. A breaker panel is labeled in tidy handwriting. Main, aux, C-Link. All switches remain in the same position. Near the floor, a dehumidifier line runs to a drain. No water backs up. The hose remains clear. The tray remains empty. A sealed hatch in the wall marks the cable entry. Bolts remain tight around the rim. No salt air leaks through. The gasket stays dry. A small test button sits under a plastic cover. The cover stays down. No test is required tonight. You stand still for a moment. The fan tone stays even. The lights keep their steady rhythm. Nothing changes, and nothing needs to. On the wall map, one route is highlighted with a thin yellow strip. The strip does not glow. It simply marks the primary line. A spare fiber coil rests in a clear case. Its loops remain perfect circles. No strand shifts. A small sensor reads cabinet temperature. The number stays fixed. No warning appears. You return to the bench. You sit. The room remains sealed and steady. Outside, the coast keeps its weather. Inside, the relay station keeps its quiet pattern. It continues evenly. The main room remains steady after the last relay click. Indicator lights continue their measured patterns. No new color appears. No alarm tone sounds. Between the racks, air moves in a constant stream. It does not grow colder. It does not grow warmer. It stays even along the aisle. The monitor nearest the junction panel keeps the same flat line. The screen holds its quiet state. A cooling unit cycles once, a soft change in airflow. Then the same steady tone returns. Nothing else responds. Under the floor grate, cable bundles remain unseen and still. No vibration rises from below. No movement reaches the metal frame. The station stays dry and sealed. A small speaker near the coastal network stays silent. No test tone, no voice, no static. Only the fans remain. You walk once more past the labels. Power, sync, amplify. The words remain clear in the low light. Nothing asks to be checked again. The cabinet of spare modules remains closed. Tags hang straight. No latch shifts. The shelf remains orderly. Near the breaker panel, the switch positions remain unchanged. Main holds. Aux holds. C-Link holds. No hand reaches for them. A thin line of light rests along the wall map. The highlighted route remains visible. No marker moves across the seafloor lines. The map stays fixed. A dehumidifier hose runs to the drain. The tray remains empty. No water collects. No drip sounds. The air stays controlled. You return to the bench under the work lamp. Tools remain aligned on the mat. No tool has shifted. The lamp remains steady. The surface feels cool and firm. A small temperature sensor shows one stable number. It does not climb. It does not drop. The reading stays within its range. Another relay click sounds, softer than before. One click, then nothing. The room returns to the same quiet line. In the landing tunnel corridor, the sealed door remains shut. The gasket line stays tight. No moisture beads along the edge. The boundary holds. Back in the aisle, the fiber connectors remain in neat rows. The tiny LED blinks in its measured pattern. It does not change speed. The pattern remains correct. Outside the walls, waves continue somewhere beyond hearing. Inside, the station continues its own routine. Fans, lights, airflow. No interruption arrives. A logbook page remains blank. The pen remains clipped. No entry is required. The open paper stays still under the lamp. The clock above the shelf moves its hands. You do not follow it. The station does not react to it. The room remains the same. A battery cabinet shows charge lights in a clean row. Levels remain steady. No pack warms. No fan changes speed. Everything remains balanced. You stand for a moment near the floor grate. Metal bars feel cool beneath your shoes. remains even. Nothing shifts underfoot. You turn back toward the racks. The aisle remains clear. The lights remain steady. The sealed room keeps its quiet work. And the night continues here, unchanged, while the sea stays outside the walls. A pressure gauge near the grate holds a steady needle. The glass remains clear. No condensation forms on its rim. The reading does not drift. A sealed hatch marks the cable entry point. Bolts remain tight around the ring. Paint marks stay aligned. No salt air leaks through. The gasket stays dry. In a clear case, a spare fiber coil rests in perfect loops. Each loop keeps its circle. No strand slips out of place. The case remains closed. A small warning label sits beside the tunnel door. High voltage. The letters remain sharp. No cover plate lifts. The panel stays untouched. You pause near the wall map again. Junction names remain printed in small text. Lines remain thin and clean. Nothing needs to be traced. You let the map stay a map. The fan tone stays even. The light remains steady. The station continues without attention. You can rest here,